We've always thought that there are only these cells called neurons, but it turns out there's actually a lot more going on in the brain. We have neurons that make up a bit, but there's all of these other cells called glia that do a ton of things in the brain. The most numerous kind of those is called astrocytes. They were named after the fact that they look like stars and they're scattered throughout the brain. These astrocytes have long been thought to just kind of clean up after neurons, but it turns out they act as a defense system, they act as the way that your brain gets energy, all of these really important things. But they're also not just doing it for their neighboring neurons. This picture shows this new thing I discovered, that astrocytes actually link up these really distant brain regions and form specific networks that can then allow the brain to communicate in a way that we never realized they could before.
So one of the most exciting things about these networks that we're looking into now is trying to understand how they may connect different brain regions in different contexts. And by saying that, what I mean is, are the same regions that are connected during normal health different in the context of aging, or are they different in the context of diseases like Alzheimer's disease? And understanding what those changes might mean for the ability of these astrocytes to provide support to neurons or take away toxic metabolites like pathogenic proteins, tau and amyloid in the context of Alzheimer's disease will be a really important discovery for us to understand how these diseases may develop and progress. And importantly, whether or not we can sort of circumvent these sort of changes for the delivery of new and novel therapeutics to help alleviate Alzheimer's disease.
We built this new method of being able to see all the way through a completely intact brain. And that way we can see what every single astrocyte is doing and how they're communicating with one another. To create this imagery and make the brain look transparent actually took a little bit of a trick of physics. We essentially put the brain in a solution that matches the same way that light moves through it, so that now it looks as though the brain, the solution, the glass in the microscope, all of that, everything looks clear going the way through because of this trick of physics that we developed. And the new tool for the first time lets us see what we call astrocyte networks. I've always loved astronomy. So astrocytes were named after stars. And to me, it always looked like the astrocytes were communicating with one another in this way that was organized kind of like a galaxy. So in this image, I use the same way that astronomers color code stars in the sky to be able to see how far away they are from us, to be able to show the three-dimensionality of these networks. So the astrocytes that are farther away from you are red, and the astrocytes that are closer are blue. And that way we can see the whole three-dimensional brain in one two-dimensional image.